Let's take a look at one of the easiest and cheapest ways you can take your videos to the next level. It's often said that the most important component of a good video is good audio. Well, in this video, we'll take a quick look at one easy way you can improve your videos, whether for YouTube, streaming, family memories, or perhaps a school project. Regardless of cost or quality, microphones need to be close to the speaker to get the best spoken audio for your video. That's why you see sound specialists holding mic booms and pencil-style mics just out of frame when shooting movies and the like. That's also why you'll see your local TV news presenter with a small lavalier mic. Both techniques put the microphone close to the speaker's mouth, resulting in the best audio. When mics are further than about 18 to 24 inches from the speaker, they tend to pick up more of the background sound, causing the speaker to sound like they're talking into a barrel. As a YouTube viewer, you've probably noticed that you'll click away from videos after only a few seconds when there's a lot of echo or wind noise. As we'll see, the Fifine M9 wireless microphone kit will help you solve that problem. I need to let you know that Fifine provided this mic set for the review. They don't get any input, or do they see the review before it's published. The opinions are my own. My goal is to show you how it works, provide some video using and not using the M9 mic, and let you decide whether this mic kit will meet your needs. Unless noted, the audio hasn't been processed in post-production besides perhaps adjusting the volume. As always, there will be an affiliate link in the video description that provides me with a small commission if you choose to buy via that link. There are a couple of key features that I need to mention as we get started. First, the kit has a couple of handy controls. You can adjust the mic's output to high, medium, or low. This allows your recording device to capture the audio at the proper level. The mics also have a noise reduction button that will help pull your voice out from the ambient sound. You can also mute the mics to help save battery power. Second is battery life. Fifine claims up to 6 hours for the transmitters and 12 hours for the receiver. That's going to cover most recording situations with room to spare. Also related to the batteries is that they can be charged directly via a USB-C cable at about twice the rate of the charging that occurs in the case. The case should charge your kit in about 2.5 hours, while direct charging will get it done in about 1.5 hours. Let's start by taking a look at what you'll get. So let's take a look at what you're going to get. First, the Fifine comes in a nice nylon kind of hardcover case, and this case is large enough to hold a number of the accessories that come with it, the charging cable, and the charge box itself. So let's take a look at each of these things individually. First, let's look at the accessories. It comes with 3 connecting cables, and these are going to allow you to connect the receiver side of this wireless mic kit to any of a number of different kinds of recording devices. So first, this one has a wire that goes into the phone. It has a TRS that goes into the receiver, and then a USB-C that goes into most modern smartphones. And so this will take you directly from the receiver to your smartphone. In this wire, again, it has the TRS here to go into the receiver of the Fifine kit. And then on this end, it's called for a camera. And this also has a TRS or tip ring sleeve type connecting device. And this allows you to go into any of a number of video recorders, cameras, and that kind of thing. And then the last one here is also for a phone, although this one has a tip ring sleeve for older smartphones that still have that 3.5 millimeter port in them for connecting wired headsets and the like. So again, this will allow you to connect to just about anything. The downside to the kit, it doesn't have a lightning connector, so you'll need to purchase one of those for your Apple device. The other thing that it has here are 2 dead cat or furry wind covers that go over the mics themselves. And I find that these are very good to use in breezy situations. They do a great job of cutting out the wind, or at least slowing it down so that it doesn't cross the microphone's module there and get picked up as that very annoying sound that you get out in the wind. So it comes with 2 of these since there are 2 transmitters. The last wire that we're going to look at is just a USB-C charging wire. This one will allow you to plug it into the USB charger, phone charger, power bank, that kind of thing. Plug it in either to each of the devices individually, or more likely you'll plug it into the case, which acts as a charger when you've got your set in the charging box or case. And let's look at that right now. So the last thing we'll look at here is the heart of the kit. And this is the charging case that includes the 2 transmitters and the receiver. You can see here there are a couple of little dots that indicate the charge level of the case. The case has a battery in it. Across the bottom here is a USB-C input to keep the case charged. And then when you open the case, you'll see that we've got the components. And so we've got the 2 transmitters. They're all charged and they're blinking, ready to pair. And then we've got the transmitter right there. So let's pull them out of the case and show you what these are all about. So here are the 2 transmitters, and you can see that they are quite small, just not much bigger than my fingertip here. On the front, they've got the little smiley Fifine logo. On the top, you've got the microphone, and it's a fairly large microphone opening here with a little bit of a screen on top of it. You can see here a blinking blue light that indicates that it's waiting to charge. I haven't turned the transmitter on yet, so it's saying, hey, where are you? On this side, we've got the linking button or the pairing button, and normally you're not going to need to worry about that. But if for some reason these lose their pairing, you can press the pairing button here and on the transmitter and repair them. And then here is the noise reduction button. There is a little light right there that shows when it is on. And as we'll hear in a minute, this is one of the weak points of this little transmitter. On this side is the power button. We can turn it on with a long press, and then we've got the little clip here on the back. Now, this doesn't have a magnet clip, but you could certainly do that by just gluing one on the back of this little clip here on the back. And then, of course, here would be the area that's covered by that little furry wind cover. And so now we've pressed the power on button and we've turned it off. Notice that it's not flashing anymore. And then to turn it on, again, a long press, and we've turned it back on. Now, let's turn the transmitter on after we've done a brief tour. So again, we've got the Fifine logo. On this side, we've got the power button. We've got an audio selection button for channel A and for channel B. It gives you high, medium, and low input from the little transmitter here that helps you when you are trying to balance that audio with whatever recording device you are using. So between the adjusting here and the adjusting on your camera or recorder, you'll be able to get the audio at a level that is what you want. On this side, we've got an output. That's where we're going to plug one of those wires to get the signal from the receiver to whatever we're recording into. Here's the pairing button for pairing that matches the one on the transmitter. And then we have a mono and stereo button here. For me, most of the time I'm recording just solo, so it's going to be in mono. But if you're using both of the receivers and you have 2 people in conversation, you could use the stereo, which would allow the recorder to record 2 tracks, which gives you a little bit of adjustability post-processing to marry those tracks together in a way that is most pleasing to your listener. Across the bottom, I've still got a little bit of a plastic cover here that I'll take off. And here is just a cover to the USB-C. Now notice these are not covered by little rubber holders or anything, so these don't have an IP score, so I wouldn't use them in the rain. So that's the coverage, and then here's the display. And so let's look at the display with the power on. So we'll press the power on button. So here we are with the power on, and you can see that the controls are all lit up. Channel B is not linked, and I don't have that transmitter on. And then notice here that the little blue flashing light has turned steady, which means these two devices are paired. So over here you can see on channel A, I've got it set to level 2. If I want to make a change, I press the little A button on the side, and you can see it goes up to 3, and then down to 1, and then back to 2 was where I had it. And I can do the same thing with B if I have my B transmitter turned on. And then over here, you remember I said there was a mono stereo. So if I press that, the mono stereo lights up over here. But again, I don't have that second input, so it's not going to do me any good. So I'll leave it here on mono. So this just has the basic information. Sound level you can measure on your recording device, not here on this receiver, but it has everything you'll need to get up and running in just a few seconds. As you can see here, I've placed my M9 lav mic on my shirt and am recording into a Tascam DR5 audio recorder. I'll marry the audio to the video in editing as an example of separate audio and video recording. The condenser mic has an omnidirectional pickup pattern, but my body is blocking sound from behind me. We may be able to hear a bit more room noise than with my studio mic, which is a dynamic mic with a more cardioid pickup pattern. Now, let's connect the M9 to an action camera for some vlogging style shots. So here's the camera we're going to be using today. It's an Insta360 Ace Pro 2, and I've got it in a plastic cage, which gives me a cold shoe mount at the top, which is what I'm going to use to mount the receiver at. And then I've got the back flipped up, so if I'm using it in selfie mode, I can see what's happening, as well as access various commands here with the touchscreen that this camera has. On this side, I've got an additional component which allows the USB-C to go straight to the camera, and it breaks out the audio in a 3.5 millimeter plug. Now, we could probably go just directly in using that USB-C, but I've chosen to use this since I have this here available to me. So that's what I'll be using. So let's look at it here real quick as we put this together. The clip is the size of a cold shoe, so it's going to fit right in there. I've got the end that goes into the camera, so that's going to go right in here. And I've got this end that is going to go into the output here of this little receiver, and so it's going to go right there. And so that is what we're going to be shooting with when we're outside. If you're finding this information helpful, please click the thumbs up button below the video. It costs you nothing, and it really helps by telling YouTube that this is a helpful video that deserves to be shown to others. I really appreciate it. Now, let's take this setup outdoors and make some comparisons between using the camera's built-in mic versus the M9. So in this clip, we're in kind of that vlogger's mode with a little selfie stick, cameras facing myself. I'm using this Ace Pro 2, which has got a really good audio system on board. So I'm not anticipating hearing much difference between these two mics, simply because this camera's got a really good forward-facing microphone, which is what we're looking at right now. Okay, so here I'm in the same place, except now I'm using the Fifine microphone. You can see it's here on my jacket placket, and so we've got the sound. I'm not using the wind cover on this today. The weather here is very nice, sunny, and no wind, so this is kind of what we're going to be listening to. As you can see here, I've got the camera pointed in kind of a point of view shot, just looking forward as I walk, and I'm talking to the back of the camera. Now this camera's got several microphones, so again, I'm anticipating some fairly good audio. Of course, the audio that your camera provides may be different. So here I'm walking with this point of view type view. If I was touring around and doing that kind of stuff, and the microphone is still on my jacket, and the camera is about a foot and a half away from me. So this is the vlogging setup and what you can expect from the M9. Now here we are using the built-in microphone here of this Ace Pro 2, and again, The Ace Pro 2 has got pretty good audio. It's got a couple of AI chips that are helping with the processing. So I'm anticipating that the audio here is pretty good. And the fact that I'm only about 3 feet away from the microphone should make a difference. But let me move back, and I suspect we're going to notice that there is an increase in the background noise as the volume of my voice versus the ambient sound, the difference reduces as I move further away from the microphone. So let me step back to about 20 feet. So now I'm at about 20 feet. You get a chance to hear, and it's probably going to be sounding a little more hollow because that's just what happens with these kinds of microphones. Now I'm also going to turn around, and you'll probably notice that my voice almost disappears as I turn back. So I'll keep talking as I rotate. So I'm talking and I'm talking, and I'm still talking facing the camera, and so you can see kind of what the audio is going to be when you're using a camera at a distance, and shows why having a wireless microphone might be a solution to your recording problem. Now let me go back to about 60 feet and see if the camera even picks up the sound. So now I'm about 60 feet away from the camera. I'm using my normal speaking voice, and I'm facing the camera, and you can hear now what it's going to sound like at this kind of distance, assuming it picks up at all. So in this demo, I'm about 3.5 feet away from the camera, and it's recording, and because I'm wearing the microphone, I can see on the top of the camera the little VU meter going back and forth, and so the audio ought to be pretty good in this situation. Now let me walk down the way a little bit and go down to about 20 feet and see what we sound like. So now I'm at about 20 feet, again wearing the little microphone here on my jacket. And the audio ought not to really have changed, although I've probably gotten quite a bit smaller. One of the other things you'll notice here is that when I turn around and continue to talk, you can see that the audio doesn't change because the microphone is right next to me. So here I am at about 20 feet. Well, let's go down to 50 or 60. So at this point I'm about 60 feet away. And again, with a wireless mic, it ought not to make any difference in terms of the sound quality of this. Again, turning around with my back to the camera, and you can see then in an outdoor setting, you can get quite a ways. The goal here isn't to test the claim of the range of the microphone. That would probably be near the end of this green belt, but here it just gives you an idea of what the sound is going to be like and the range of motion that you'll be able to do here with this wireless M9 microphone. Now the last demo here with the Fifine is I've turned on the noise canceling or the noise reduction feature here as I'm walking forward. Some of the videos that I've seen using this feature really wasn't all that good, and so noise reduction may be better post-processing than it is when you're recording, but here it is with the noise reduction on the microphone on a fairly quiet day with just a hint of a breeze and some traffic noise in the background. Okay, so here we are next to my running truck and get a chance to see what the noise reduction sounds like. And right now I've got the noise reduction off, and this is what it sounds like. Let me rotate a little bit so the mic is catching a little bit more of the sound of the engine of the truck as it runs here. So that's noise reduction off. Let's turn the noise reduction on and see what you'll get. Turning the noise reduction on is really easy. It's just pressing a little button on the side of the microphone, and the little LED illuminates showing that it's on. And so this is what noise reduction sounds like when there's some noise in the background for it to work on. I'll turn back to that previous orientation with my back to the truck, and you can get a sense of comparing this orientation with noise reduction on versus noise reduction off. In this closing segment, I'll connect the M9 to my Sony FDR AX43 Handycam style video camera for yet another example of how you can use this versatile device. This is what it sounds like using the camera's built-in mic from about 7 or 8 feet away. You'll probably notice some room noise and some echo here in a fairly hard room. Now, let's connect the M9 to wrap this up. There's a lot to like about the M9 mic. Here are just a couple of my favorite features. First, It operates in the 2.4 gigahertz range, which means there are no channels to match and the likelihood of interference is low. Second, the hard charging case both protects the mics and the receiver while ensuring they're always charged. The fact that the set comes with 2 transmitters allows you to have 2 speakers with an interview or switch them out during a long day of recording. Last, several short wires allow you to connect to a wide variety of recording devices, as you've seen demonstrated here. While the mics have some volume adjustment capability, you'll want to monitor your recording device's external microphone settings to make sure things aren't too loud or too soft. The only serious negative aspect I found on the M9 is the noise reduction function. As you heard, that feature still needs some work. The good news is that the mic's overall quality and adjustability makes onboard noise reduction unnecessary in most situations. A little audio post-production editing will do a much better job. I use Audacity and find its noise reduction feature is very good. As I mentioned earlier, good audio is the foundation of a good video. Fifine's M9 wireless mic kit is a reasonably priced way to up your game when it comes to improving your video's audio. When compared to other well-known brands such as Cinco, Rode, and DJI, where the prices range from $120 to about $350, the Fifine sub-$100 price makes this a pretty good value for a new creator or as a backup in your audio kit. Again, please click the thumbs up button as you leave, and thanks for watching.